Alrighty, look at that. Indeed, he who controls the rum. All right. Now I got it all situated the way I want. Aloha from Georgia. Will Crutcher, hello. Colt Manny, thank you for joining us today. Hello, Steve. And fine evening that we have here with us. Adam Hall, my favorite Hall. LaRue triggers. No idea. I'm sure I've seen some. I've seen some full LaRue guns, but I assume they had LaRue triggers in them. Ronald Clark, I'll see you on the 20th. I got your message. I just had not replied. Hobgobbler, TJ, hello, everybody. Welcome. What do we got going on? This evening's Tuesday night live stream brought to you by Rock God Brewing Company. They have graciously given me permission. All right, let's be honest. I don't really do permission, but they are cool with me drinking a horn full of mead on my live stream. They don't make mead, so it's not like it's a competitor to them. Tuesday spaghetti. I thought tacos were Tuesday. I see we're not black and white this evening, according to my little screen over here. So that's good. All kinds of information to share. Joe Pastilli, hello, sir. You should come join us this weekend. Specific AR 308 triggers. So my 308 has I want to say it's an ALG trigger in it. I think. But I'm going to probably try the Elfman trigger in it too, and see what it does on the 308. I got some match grade Fiocchi 308 and some match grade Federal in there, and we'll see if it has any issues. Steve, tell Remington that we said hello right back. If he's listening, hello, Remington. Charles Bronson, digging the name. I'm glad you dig the hat. Yeah, I don't like the way the hat fits, but it looks pretty cool, so I decided to wear it. All right. So, what new shit's going on in the world today? Well, there's actually a bunch of new shit going on in the world today, but what do I got going on in the world? I got a list. It's even got some stuff in the back. So, we'll see. Primary arms scopes. I have a 1-8 second focal plane with the ACSS reticle on my short barrel rifle, my Mark 18 mod 25, as we'll call it now, because it's so far not a Mark 18 clone like it used to be. And I have on my 308, I have a 4-14 from Primary Arms with the R Grid 2 reticle, and they seem to be pretty nice. For the money, they're awesome. And the reticles are fucking shit hot. So I'm digging them. I haven't broke one. I even have a primary arms red dot on something. And it hasn't given me any issues either. Just like whatever their T1 size red dot is. Jeffrey. Oh, Crystal. I also wanted to tell you that somehow we've decided before you got here that you owe Brittany cookies. So now you know. Let's see. What do we got going on? New shit as of today, things that have changed today. I went and picked up the instructor target stands. So all the steel parts are at my house. Stiffy. Yo, Stiffy cookies. So I got target stands here. I'm going tomorrow to pick up hardware, and then I will box up ones that get shipped, and I will trying to remember how many are getting shipped. There's not a lot that are getting shipped. And then I'll work on everybody that's getting theirs delivered, and I will work out getting those there. The ones that are left in stock, like that I had to pay out of my pocket for, and maximize. I don't know. All right. Well, I don't know. There was a memo about my connection, and it was like stopped, and I kind of tried to click it to open it up, and apparently I'm still here. So good, I guess. Anyway. Oh, John. Hello, sir. I was actually thinking about you today. I was in my head designing radio pouches. The duct tape idea. I'm not good enough with duct tape to make it work. But I'm still was thinking about you. My drinking horn is empty. I didn't really fill it up. I just put what was left in the can. Scott Wexler, hello, sir. So anyhow, target stands are here. Price went back up. I do have a few a few extra pieces that I picked up. There's some that the legs are cut out of the same sheet steel that the rest are cut out of. And like where the torch like pierced in, it made like an extra little divot. I don't have a picture handy to show y'all. But I have 4 extra target stands that have the little like cut on the legs, and I'm going to mark those down as blems. It would probably take somebody with, like, if you had a flapper wheel on a 4-inch grinder, like 3 minutes of your time to smooth it all out. I just don't intend to. So I knocked $10 off of those. The drinking horn, Eric, that was actually a gift. The buddy of mine hooked me up with this, Ryan, and it was a Yule gift. So the only downside is I can't sit it down. I have another drinking horn here that they cut the bottom off and epoxied a piece of wood on. Makes it a little easier. Big money on scope mounts. I'll get back to you in a second, Mike, because we're still drinking horn, kind of. So the deal with the drinking horn, I have a leather, like, belt mounted holster for it, but I don't have a stand. I should get a stand. Oh, there we go. We got a mouse working again. Kind of. Uh-oh. Javier. Hello. So I'm experiencing mouse issues. We'll see if that causes any more issues. Ooh, a custom wooden stand. I like the way you're thinking. Brian Stevens, I was thinking about you today too, because I got some ideas in my brain for a appendix holster. When Sonny came down, while he was here, I was carrying my 365 appendix in my regular strong side appendix holster. And it was okay, but it helped me like figure out maybe something to do, some ideas that I would like even better. So Brian, we got to get together at some point. I just don't know when. That shit happening all the time. September is a busy month for me. Target stands. Let me cross that off. Big old X. Speaking of September, I've had 2 instructors reach out and ask if sometimes Colt, I need to do stuff with my hands. I actually went to a Ren fair in Michigan as well. That's not where I got that, but I'm sure the Google machine could get you a drinking horn. I got my flat bottom drinking horn from Grownfell Meadery, which is who makes the mead that I'm drinking. I'll see if I can get that. These guys, they have drinking horns, and they had this one with the flat bottom, and I think they have pointy bottom ones as well. All right, so there we are. Speaking of September, a couple instructors reach out to me and ask about scheduling a class in September up here at LCPC. And there aren't any free fucking days in September or really in October. It is booked solid. So Biggers and numbers both I talked to, and I just don't know when that's going to work, like pre-election. Brittany, it seems like he may not have seen the link strictly because every time someone tries to post a link in the chat, it seems to not post unless I'm posting it as the guy hosting the chat. So it may not have come through. So anywho, busy month. September, October, lots of booked weekends doing stuff. He's looking to, Adam, he's looking to get past his other shit that's going on in his life and get back out on the range. So of course, I'd like to help him. I just don't have any dates. I've ordered stuff from Grim Frost, by the way, and they seem to be pretty squared away, fast shipping for overseas. I would not hesitate to order things from them again. All right, let's see. Oh, I got a link via Signal from my buddy Chris, but I can't really post it over there. Tell you what, I will do my best to post some links to drinking horns on my Facebook page sometime within the next 24 hours. Apparently Chris is watching. Hello, sir. See you in a couple of days. So what else we got going on? Bug the fuck out. Date has been moved. So it's been moved before. I moved it for some students. And oh, look at that. Chris even posted here. Walmart has a link for drinking horns. So it was Halloween weekend, and we moved that because I had a bunch of students who still have young kids that they intended to take trick-or-treating. And so I moved it to a different week, and now it looks like there'll be some classes happening the week prior, and the week prior to that, and the week prior to that. So I was like, all right, let's look into November. And it turns out fucking November is pretty booked too. And when it gets unbooked, the wildlife management unit that the bug out takes place in then falls right smack dab into deer season. And I'd rather not be trumping through the woods when there's a bunch of hunters out there trying to shoot shit. And also to be nice to the hunters and not fuck up their hunting by a dozen loud dudes crashing through the woods. So it has been moved to December 5th, overnight into December 6th. December 5, December 6 is Bug the Fuck Out 12. So there are the dates that have been moved. All right. So that's that. Yeah, it'll be cold. It'll be a Wiggy's sleeping bag, not a Snug Pack sleeping bag moment. We got a cool study group coming up this weekend on Sunday. If you are a Tremis Dynamics alumni, you are invited, or if somebody in the study group invites you, we will be doing some land nav in Centralia. And I got the ability to put out 20 control points. However, these showed up today, and they're the little card punch things. I put a little pattern on the cards. However, I only ordered 10 of those. I didn't even think they would be here in time, but I have 10 of them. So maybe we'll stick those out there as well and have a wonderful time doing some land navigation over in Centralia. My buddy Chris, who commented earlier on the drinking horns, is going to come up here day after tomorrow and help me get all set up for what we're going to do at that study group and some other stuff I got planned over in Centralia. I'm going to pick his brain because he is a bona fide expert in that subject. Scott, if you put a link, it didn't come through. For some reason, YouTube doesn't let commenters put links. Javier asked my thoughts on Wisconsin. Strangely enough, it's actually on my list of, I don't know, maybe you can't read that because it's too bright, all whited out. Wisconsin, like, should I talk about it? And so we could talk about the philosophical side of what's happening in Wisconsin, the philosophical side of what specifically everybody is talking about in Wisconsin, or we can talk about the skill/tactic side of that specific incident. On the Jason Hedrick, hello, sir, out, making people healthy and shit. On the skills and tactical side, he did pretty fucking good for himself. He moved. He shot from some odd positions. He didn't have a bunch of Gucci gear. Man, I bet you that boy wishes he had a reload on his body, though. I'm curious if he had remotely any idea how many rounds I'll bet you he has no clue how many shots he fired, how many were left in the magazine, and not having any fresh mags to put in there probably wasn't a very heartwarming thought. But he handled himself very well on the skills tactics side of that. And good on him. As far as the philosophical reason, the stuff behind that particular incident or Wisconsin in general, I don't feel like talking about it. I don't have enough mead, apparently, in me. So I think TJ mentioned. Oh, Mike. Yes. Remind me again. We'll get back to that shortly, just in a moment. TJ said how important it was for him to have a sling. And he slung the rifle. Once he was closer than he needed or wanted to be to his adversaries, the sling became important for him, keeping a hold of his rifle. A skateboarder target. We could be onto something there. You guys are onto some marketing stuff. T-shirt. Target. Oh, Eric, I totally think people go anywhere they want with a rifle all the time, regardless of rioting. That came up in a conversation with someone, and I had to do some digging to figure out. And this was last week sometime, and I had to use the Google machine to do the math. And it has the day that I said this, it had been 2,007 days since I spent a day without a rifle, like with me in my travels. So I don't see like a problem with not having, or with having a rifle. That doesn't seem to be an issue whatsoever. So on that philosophical level, having cleared a few malfunctions in ARs before, I can't say I remember seeing one in the video, but the whole time I watched the videos, I was on the range. So I was watching them on my phone, and they were pretty small. I didn't really spend any time in front of a computer screen watching the videos. So maybe I should go back and look at that and see about the malfunction clearance. Right on, Scott. There ain't nothing to see except my ugly mug anyway. Lessons learned, mentioned earlier about having a sling, but the other lesson, the reload, like bringing extra bullets, is a big thing. But something else that take away from that is you should be with your friends when you're carrying a rifle, especially when you're carrying a rifle thinking there's a chance you may need it. So buddies with rifles, 16-inch Colt, not a 16-inch Colt. Well, 16-inch Colt's fine, but Colt 16-inch, good to go. Anything shorter or longer is more special purpose, but all in all, I'd say, like, if you're going to own one, it should be 16 inches, the best general purpose length. Sorry about the choppiness. I don't know, earlier YouTube tried to give me a warning about something being with my connection, but then it went away when I tried to click it. So I don't know. And it could be my crappy internet. It could be your crappy internet. I don't know. Man, Colt, if I was going to go 13.7, I would probably go like 11.5 and just pistol or SBR it, or I would go 16 and just put a flash hider on it and fuck a muzzle brake. Like, fuck a muzzle brake. Shoot that thing in the dark or inside a car, and you're like, man, I need a flash hider. Damn, usually when I talk, it's not understandable. Fucking feds always trying to shut us down. Oh, yeah, and the ears. Fucking brakes are loud. Apparently, some people can still hear me. I'm trying. 14.5. I had a 14.5 Novetti, and it ran great. 14.5, 16 is like the same thing. Scope mount question. Yes, we finally can roll back to it because I'm midstream of a different thought. I have used Midwest Industry scope mounts, which are not super expensive and they're not super cheap, with no issue whatsoever. Not me personally, but I had a student at a long range class. He's a student of mine. He was a student of somebody else at the long range class, but I was there at the long range class, and he was with a 308 AR getting 1,400 round hits, 1,400 yard hits, with 308, 18-inch barrel, Midwest scope mount, Night Force scope. So the Midwest scope mount did plenty better than I could make my rifle do. So with that, hadn't had an issue. I also have a rifle that I ran had a vortex scope, and it was a 1-inch vortex, 1-inch diameter tube. So I had no mounts for it other than the one that came with it. And I bet you I ran that for a few months with no issue. Like, it wasn't quick release or anything. It was just like, put a box and wrench on it, tighten it down, and still didn't have an issue. If you need like a 20 MOA cant or some cant to it for extreme long distances, you're going to pay a lot of money for a big name one, or money for a name brand one. Or if it's super heavy recoiling, like one of them fucking gymungulous calibers that have to have like 6 lugs across it and 3 quick disconnect levers. Otherwise, I'm using a mid-priced scope mounts on everything and have no issues with them. I've only seen one dude using an Aero precision mount, and it was on a 1-to-8 kind of rifle, not super long range, but he had zero issues as far as I know. I think, I can't say I've seen a dude running a 308 with an Aero mount. I've seen a few Aero mounts on 5.56 guns with no issues. So, if somebody I saw had one, I didn't notice. But Aero makes good stuff. Like, I have no issues with anything I've seen from Aero Precision. I don't like their enhanced uppers because of the proprietary way the bolt or the barrel nut and rail latch, but it's a proprietary thing, not a quality thing. So I wouldn't be concerned if I had an Aero mount. I would use it unless it started giving me problems. All right, what else we got going on? But I bug the fuck out. Class stuff. I don't want to talk about class stuff. I gotta do that at the end, like the pimping my shit part. I always feel dirty doing that. But I'm small. Like, I got one employee, me, and paying for advertising budget doesn't happen. So this free YouTube thing does that. But gear wise, I got gear to talk about. Got this new med kit carrier from, it says LTC, and I believe the company is called Living the Creed. Don't necessarily quote me on it, but I used to have like a Maxpedition, like 5x7 pouch thing, and this looks smaller. It actually fits. You have a lot of pants like the Vertex or the Cools have the on the thigh like a cell phone pocket or AR mag pocket. This tightly will fit in it, and it's clamshell, elastic, laser cut Cordura. It's got a molly thing on the back. Pieces of elastic. I got a TK4, a pair of gloves, and an H bandage, or an H&H pressure bandage. I don't remember what the fuck it's called. The H mini compression bandage. But it seems pretty slick. And usually when I'm wearing pants without a cargo pocket, I just throw TK4 in there and call it good. And I now can carry a compression bandage and a pair of gloves with it, and it fits in there. So far, so good. And I'm thinking I'm kind of digging it. LTC. I'm pretty sure it's Living the Creed or Live the Creed. is the name of the company. I don't know. I saw their ad on like an Instagram post, sponsored Instagram post, but it was the right size. And my good buddy John, who's here watching, is so fucking swamped with work. My custom shit is that I want him to make for me has to take a backseat to all you people who paid for gear. So I'll let him slide and maybe buy some other shit. What things? This is the question. I like the good questions. What things you find in a guy's chest rig and belt kits that are missing or underestimated? Well, if I'm thinking a belt rig or a chest rig, we're talking rifle stuff. Like you're bringing all the gear. And they usually get all the cool guy magazines and the flashlight and drop big pistol. And most of them are at this point are pretty good about bringing some medical gear, even if they have no idea how to use it. But they're bringing it because they know that like they're expected to have a med kit on their gear. The things I actually see people missing are some type of tool and some way to, for me, to light shit on fire. The tool, especially if you're running an AR, you can get some malfunctions that it's much easier to fix if you have a tool that you can stick in the ejection port to operate the bolt carrier, hold it out of the way, move it back. I have a malfunction class that talks about that. My personal favorite is a 6-inch pry bar because a pry bar does a lot of things well, but like a Leatherman or something like that also will reach in there and grab that pretty well. And people will say, well, it's a pair of pliers. It does more than a pry bar does. But most of the things that most of the times people break a multi-tool, it's because they're prying with it and it doesn't pry well. So I skip all that and just carry a pry bar stuck in the molly webbing, and it's like $8. And nobody brings one to class. Generally speaking, nobody brings one to class. And when they have a malfunction, I pull mine out and we use it to fix it. But not having some type of tool for fixing a rifle is a common oversight. I have the ability to light things on fire. And not like with a Bic lighter. So I keep a road flare in a pistol pouch. That makes fire and or smoke. You carry smoke, but that just makes smoke. So a road flare is like, I'll light a car on fire. That makes lots of smoke. And if I want the car on fire, it makes fire. So those are two things I see often missing that I have in all my rigs. But the tool seems so critical. I don't understand why people don't like put one on every, if you have a belt rig and a chest rig and a plate carrier, like every one of them should have a tool on it. Place I used to work, one of the other instructors and I actually were trying to figure out a way to keep a rod, like a way to mount a cleaning rod on a rail so that it would like lay along the rifle and not get hung up on everything, and it wouldn't have to be like a multi-part rod. We never came up with anything good, but it was a cleaning rod can fix, like it fixes the stuff that nothing else does. And yes, road flares, fucking amazing. The little 5-minute guys, they're like this long. I bet you somewhere in this room I have some of those. Man, every time Adam Hall makes a message, it says message retracted. But yes, AA doesn't really need tools. But EDC med kit, let me cross that off my list. Yeah, finding a way to secure the problem is finding a way to secure a cleaning rod on a rifle is the long enough rod. Now we can make a short rod and maybe multiple part rods. And that's the problem with like the AK cleaning rod. I need it to be a little longer to do what I want it to do. However, here's the other thing with the AK cleaning rod. It, like we don't ever get stuck cases anyway. So what the fuck difference does it make? Well, it's 8:30. I'm almost out of mead. Yes, now we're talking. Our PK rod is indeed longer. So I actually thought about, oh, well, we can put a rod on the inside of a pick rail. There's usually some space around there, except it needs to be, you know, a couple inches longer than the barrel. And usually the rail is a few inches shorter than the barrel, which now makes it difficult to have a one-piece rod inside the rail where it would be convenient. So, you know, we start trying to figure out a good system, and there isn't a good system. They're just systems. Now, the extra length of the rod, if you have it going forward, it's going to cut on fucking everything. So you need to have it come backwards, you know, past like the receiver, but not interfere with any of the other parts of the gun back at the receiver end. Right side, left side. Obviously, it can't be the right side because there's an ejection port there that's gonna, you don't want it in front of that or the door. It needs, you know, if it tucked under the top part of the rail, that might be the way to go. But depending on the type of clamps you have on your optics may interfere with, you know, is there in that little hollow between the top pick rail and the rail, you know, in that little groove. You can see what I'm saying, like in where my eyeball currently is. You know, if you have lasers or lights that go in there, now that doesn't fit. So trying to find it is for a one-piece rod. And if you got to screw the thing together, like you might as well just put it in your pack, which is always an option. Having, you know, a sectional cleaning rod in your pack made of steel. I run nothing, none of that stuff, Mike. No lube, spare bolt in the stock or under the grip. The damn thing weighs enough as it is. And 8. Left knob is brightness, top knob, you take it off and it takes care of elevation. Right knob, you take it off, it does windage, but in the right knob is a spare battery. So the spare battery for the optic is in the optic. The actual usable battery is in the brightness. The rest of the stuff, if I'm going to carry it, I'm going to go in my assault pack. It's just easier to carry a bunch of extra shit on my back than it is in my hands. Oh, yes, the spam can opener. I forgot that. Yes, the great thing about the ALG is the little pillow packs. Like stuffing one of those inside a grip is probably the most that I do. The problem is getting ALG pillow packs in grease is difficult. I had to special request some, and then they hand delivered me a pile of those. But usually it's the oil that's in the pillow pack. My Occam tubes do indeed have grease in them, and I have a couple of those spread out in random spots, and they're all full of quad zero grease. I will run 000 grease as well. And if you run 000, you can get other brands than just ALG. When I was in the Navy, there was some government issue quad zero grease there. I had no idea who made it, but I thought it was awesome. Obviously, I got out of the Navy 20-some years ago, so I ran out of that lubricant a long time ago. So that's when I started buying the ALG, because I don't know how to find any other brand quad zero. I keep meaning to grab more of the Occam applicators and just put all kinds of other shit in them too. Cherry balms. So this I keep a pen with my notes, because I'm now going to write Cherry Balms 0000 grease so that I can look it up later. Ooh, stand by. Mil-spec grease. The reason I like the quad 0 grease is because in the 000 to pretty much the same effect. I don't know if I can tell the difference between the two, but it's thin enough that you can press it into gaps like oil will naturally draw into any opening. You can, especially like an Occam applicator, and I have used a regular like hypodermic needle. You can press in grease into gaps that normally only oil would go into, and it sticks like grease does. Big fan. Ooh, I like where you're going with the beard jelly. Thank you, Eric. I am definitely going to look up the Cherry Balls 0000 grease once the live stream is over. Or I might just sit this beside my computer and look it up tomorrow. Because let's be honest, my wife gets off at 9 o'clock, and when she gets home, I'd rather spend time with her than fuck around on the interwebs. I can do that tomorrow. Did some I did some radio testing in the last week or so and found some interesting information. We had tried a couple different antennas, lengths, different brands, different styles, and we found that they had little difference from radio to radio on the like how well it transmitted or how well it received. One of the guys in our study group was running like a 4-foot antenna, and still it wasn't even the best antenna of the ones he tested. So we found that a quality radio broadcasts much further than a cheap radio. So we had what I call potato fangs, which are the Quanshangs or the Baofangs. They're both the Chinese radios, probably made on the same physical location, but they're like, $25, $35. And they could hear the Yaesus from about 3/4 of a mile away further than the Yaesus could hear them. Now, at Yaesu, we got the full distance again. But when we went Yaesu to Baofeng, we had that distance, but Baofeng to anything got shorter. So the quality radio had a lot bigger influence on the distance you could hear than the antenna that we had on it. And we tried this on VHF and UHF. So just throwing it out there that both the 140s and the 460s or whatever, same effect, that the higher end radio had more direct influence on distance than whatever the fuck we did with the antenna. And now we're just talking handhelds. Then they all claim to be 5 watts. Obviously, if you had like a mobile at 50 watts in your car, it would broadcast much further. Or a base station at a bazillion watts. But in those handhelds, we found more money on the radio made a huge difference compared to more money on the antenna. So Adam asks, what distance Yaesu to Yaesu? And now here's something to remember. VHF and UHF have different characteristics, being in a building or being in heavy growth. If I remember this correctly, where you want the VHF in overgrowth and you want the UHF if you're going inside a building. So that will play a difference. But the max that we had Yaesu to Yaesu from inside a house to inside a car, or inside my truck, was just about 2 miles. So that was the most we got. And I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what channel we were on to know if it was VHF, UHF when we got the most. With what can we buy electronic shit we can put batteries in that will make us not have to scream to each other. So as long as we could communicate in a distance that the human voice could carry, that was our prime directive for getting radios, to limit the amount of yelling we had to do to communicate with team members. Anything beyond that was just icing. And the fact that sometimes we can get a couple miles out of it, I was pretty stoked. A mile outdoors was all I expected. And when we get more than that, I'm just impressed. That being said, once we finally settled down on all the gear and all the adapters that we needed for the right antennas, the right blah, 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 trust me, it was more complex than it needed to be because we couldn't find a good source of information for what we wanted to do with radios. There was a lot of information for shit we didn't want to do with the radios. Now we finally have it sorted out. In here in this room where I film videos, there's a pile of shit like right over here to the left of me. For me to make a video tomorrow on the radio ups that we settled on. So for you patrons, you will have it probably, today is what, Tuesday, so I'll film it Wednesday. I'll probably film and edit tomorrow if I can get it everything filmed that I want. I don't have any technical issues because I got shit to do on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So the radio video for patrons, hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll have it tomorrow. Everybody else will have it next week. Take it easy, Scott. So that is coming. There are like the stuff I need to film video is right here in this room with me. I know some folks have asked about it, and it took us a while to sort it out. I didn't want to make a video and then go, "Ooh, we found something better." And this video is going to be for if you're wearing hearing protection. I'm going to have a separate video for if you're not wearing hearing protection, because after I get it all sorted out, I needed one more part. And the thing that I needed and wanted, I ordered from a place in England, and it's coming soon. So I'll just make it a two-part video. Speaking of the radio, we're doing a radio ops class on September 20th, I believe, at Rock God. I am not teaching it. I am just there for comic relief. I got my somebody well-versed in how to run a radio. We'll be teaching it, but we are doing it. I think if I can do this, I'll go ahead and do the whoring myself out pimping part. There it is, radio ops primer. So if you have one of those potato fangs, Baofeng Quanshangs, or you have a Motorola, Yaesu, something like that, Kenwood, and you say, I don't know how to use this fucking thing, that's the class. We're going to talk about like how you use the radio, the way you communicate, but we're also going to be punching buttons and turning knobs, because that's what we found most people struggle with is how do I make the radio in my hand fucking work? And then once we get it to work, what am I supposed to say? Yes, Brittany, yours will be coming Sunday. It is all programmed and ready to go. Brittany got a Yaesu as well. But we got a radio class for folks that need to figure out how to do a radio, how to make it work. Can I minimize this? You know what I really need is like a video bitch, live stream bitch, someone to like sit over there and bring things up when I need them and run all the computer stuff. I just sit here and be a personality. Although that's kind of stupid. And nobody would do that unless I paid them. And then that makes the live stream, I have to make money somehow on it just to pay the guy to do the thing. And fuck it, I guess I'll do it all myself. There are other classes coming up. I guess we're at the pimping part. there is a day 3 pistol that is happening this Saturday. That's the 5th of September. It is probably going to be my first ever not sold out class. It's my fault for doing the reschedule at the last minute and only giving folks like 3 weeks. I have 5 open slots for it. And I dropped the price by a bunch. So if you are capable, if you've done a 2-day pistol class with a reputable instructor, you're ready to come over and do my day 3 pistol. And I'll put a link. We're going to do some drills that I don't normally do in day 3 pistol because the class isn't full because I scheduled it 3 weeks ago. So you'll get some different shit. I've been practicing my choking people out, so that should be pretty good. I'm not paying $500 an hour to anybody for anything, and just not going to happen. Although if I was going to pay someone, like, I'd rather you get the money as a homeless vet. Like, you probably need it more than most. Ballpark cost on the preferred radio setup. You're going to like this number. But $450 plus Ear Pro that you can plug into it, like Comtax or OpsCore amp or Swordens or Liberators. So it's not cheap. I think I paid $265 for my radio and $100 and something for the push to talk and $100 for the antenna. And I have a pair of Comtac 2s, which are like fucking old school that were still like a couple $100. So it's expensive, but I had probably $300 in radios that sucked that I ended up destroying or throwing away, or they shit the bed before I even got to the buying the right radio. I have in the middle of my little my note section here, I missed something that wasn't about classes, but I guess I'll finish off on the classes. The end of the month, there is a Force on Force class, 2 days. Gunfight Diagnostics, 26th, 27th of September. It's going to also include some night stuff. There is range fees, $20 a day, but you don't need to bring any ammo. You just got to have a ASTM 1776 rated mask, and I hand you a Glock 17 and the ammo, and we're going to do a bunch of cool shit. Oh, TJ is coming to that. He forgot to message me. Well, I had 3 openings. Apparently now there are only 2 because TJ, I'm putting him on the list. So I got 2 openings for that. Beyond that, I have the Team Dynamics class in September, which is, I guess, do I have the link for diagnostics? Yeah. Let me put that in there for the Force on Force. There's the link for the Force on Force. The Team Dynamics, I jumped it up from to 16, I think 16 students total. So I still have 7 openings for that. 400 rifle rounds. It's a 1-day class. I said I have 7 openings. Apparently TJ's coming to that too, so there will only be 6. TJ, I know you and Mike wanted to do the bring a partner and get the discount. Mike was already signed up, so I'll get the discount squared away in there. I'll get you an invoice and shit, and so there's 6 openings for that. So apparently I have 8 and 5. I have 13 openings for range classes for the rest of 2020. So if you want to get some shit in, like, it's running out. That is November 8th, by the way, is Team Dynamics. And of course, TJ, when you drive down here from fucking not Vermont, I got a couch for you. So you got somewhere to stay. In addition, I'm sure Mike would certainly welcome you at his new place because he'll be over here in PA by then as well. So there, I got all the shit class stuff, all the Pennsylvania class stuff listed. I know there's some Texas folks that were watching. I don't know if they're still on or not because, well, there's still like 20 people here. So November 15, 14, 15, 16, I will be in Del Rio. For 14th is a low light pistol class, the flashlights. The 15th is day 3 vehicle. Abso-fucking-lutely the best class, the most enjoyable class I teach, at least from the instructor's point of view. Love that class. Ran it here last month and enjoyed the hell out of it. I got no complaints from the students. It sure did seem like they enjoyed it more than most other classes. I would say from the feedback I got from students, it was the most enjoyable class, generally speaking, across the board, for any class I've ever taught at any of the companies I've worked for. It seemed that enjoyable. And Jeff will tell you, it was damn amazing. So I intend to make Team Dynamics just as amazing, just without the car. That is the plot for that. But I will be doing the day 3 vehicle in Texas. I know there's a bunch of fuckers in Texas that took the other 2 days. So we should make this happen. And then the 16th, I am doing a 1-day force on force, all pistol stuff. It doesn't have a lot of people sign up for Texas. Apparently the county down there was under fucking shutdown forever. And nope, not a lot of folks signed up. So there's the openings in Texas. But I know some folks were like, oh, well, I'm going to come over to Fort Honey Badger and see you in the spring. I'm doing a 3-day pistol class there in the spring. I am not doing a low light pistol, a force on force, or a vehicle. The vehicle's all carbine. The force on force is all pistol. The low light's all pistol. That I'm doing this fall in Texas in November. So that's happening too. Yes, buckle up for your safety. Buckle up for your safety. You can't get out and smoke a bunch of fools if you fucking smash your head through the windshield. It's a thing. So there's all the updates on the pimping myself out part. The only other thing I actually had a question for you guys, and there's still 23 of you here. 23 people, an hour in, you all fucking amazingly weird. American Contingency, Mike Glover, Fieldcraft Survival fella. I follow him on the socials. Usually pretty good shit to talk about or to listen to. And I enjoy listening to his perspective on things. And he's got this thing going that he's starting. I don't know a whole lot about it. American Contingency. It's supposed to be some networking stuff for folks like us. And if anybody out there is part of it and thinks it's good, reach out to me. Let me know. I'm curious to see what it's all about. It sounds like it's a pretty good deal. Like what he's doing is pretty good. I guess I haven't followed close enough to get all the details on it. And if some of you had, please share them with me. I'm just gonna fucking sign up and there's a free version and a subscription. It's $5 a month or whatever. And so I'm sure I'm just going to fucking sign up, but it'd be great if there was somebody out there that could tell me this is how badass it is, or don't bother, just curious. There are at least 24 people currently that are watching this, and there might be a few hundred more that watch it after I put it up on the regular YouTube site. So if any of you are watching it, want to shoot me a message, let me know what you think of that. By all means, I like to use you all for my guinea pigs. But yeah, if there's people utilizing the platform, let me know what you think. Steve, I agree. He seems pretty squared away. His background says he should be pretty squared away. That's not always the case, but I like the way he conveys information. So, topic for discussion on Saturday. Saturday is day 3 pistol, so I assume we're going to talk about pistol stuff. Sunday is study group, and we're going to talk about land nav stuff. And we're going to use these little guys. I just wanted to play with it some. I got a bunch of other land nav stuff for us as well, but I have a bunch of handouts for the guys in the study group as well for the folks that don't know a lot about land nav. So people are going to get some things this Sunday if you're coming. I know I have students out there who are watching this, like Pastilli and RJ, his hetero life mate. Like, you guys haven't been to a study group. I don't understand why. Like, you should get your ass in a car and drive on over, especially when it doesn't take any bullets. And if you don't know anything about using a fucking compass, it's okay. We'll try to get you squared away. So there's that. On a 1022. So I don't have a 1022. I have an M&P 1522, which essentially does the same thing. And I have a Hollow Sun on it. And there's a video on the Hollow Sun somewhere on this channel. It seems pretty good. I would do that because they're affordable, and it's a lot like using another tubed red dot like most of us use. Study group seminar. I actually, Adam, have a bunch of notes, and I am going to, within, what is this? It's now September. It'll definitely be before the end of this month. There will be an online seminar on how to start a study group, and it'll be cheap. It won't cost a lot. And it's basically all my notes, like the pitfalls. And I've talked to some folks who started study groups that also had the level of success. And I've had some friends I tried to steer that had horrible failures. So hopefully I've put together enough information to help folks keep it going and make it good. So try and hook everybody up. Yeah, RMR I would not do on I don't like to do them on a pistol. Like, it doesn't need to be that small unless it's going on a pistol. Sunday, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. We made it a little earlier than the normal noon. Thursday, I am going to send coordinates out to everybody that I know that's coming for where we're going to meet. You could probably just plug those right into Google Maps. For where we're going to meet over in Centralia, because I can't give you like a fucking street address because none of the streets, they probably still kind of remotely have names, but I don't think Google Maps recognizes the names anymore. So I'll give some coordinates, and I'll also put it in the Legio Tremis Facebook group for folks that haven't, like, I don't know are coming, that want to come, because I've invited all of them as well. And I figure if somebody else in the study group wants to come that I don't know because, somebody invited them, that somebody better give them the fucking coordinates. I was going to have everybody meet somewhere common, except we have people coming from north of Centralia, west of Centralia, and south of Centralia. So I want folks to have to drive to Centralia to get meeting point to turn around and go back to Centralia. Now, if someone shoots me a message Thursday after I give them coordinates and they say, I'm not going to be able to get there, great. We'll figure out somewhere to link up with somebody who's going to be able to get there so that you don't have to wander aimlessly around a ghost town. But I will also send out radio frequencies that we're going to use at the study group. So if you have a radio and you're coming in, you can all get radio and be saying, hey, I'm here, motherfuckers. Where are you at? And there is cell phone coverage there too. I don't know, once you get out away from, like, into the hills and the brush and the trails, if the cell phone coverage everywhere. I will try to figure that out when I'm placing all of the control points on Thursday to see if there's cell signal at them all. But I wouldn't plan that there's always going to be cell signal there. There might find spots that aren't. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to? If you're on land nav, a ghost town sounds like the best place in the world to do it. All right, so contingency. Texas, got that. Got my own note to look up some grease. All right, I'm going to do like a rundown of everything we talked about. There are a limited number of range classes that I have left this year. So if you're interested in getting one, I'm cutting the round counts down even further, less repetitions. But because I know it's hard to find fucking ammo. But there are a few of those left. Patrons, expect a radio video real soon. Study group seminar will be shortly, and it's going to be live, so you'll be able to ask questions and whatnot. Target stands are in my possession. The price has been jacked up back to the regular price. If you didn't get it on the pre-order, tough shit. That's what I got for like the review. I'm also completely out of mead. I have nothing left up here to drink. That big ass jug over there of Rock God beer is empty. Once I polished it off, I just let it sit there for looks. So I'm thirsty. My wife got off work 5 minutes ago, so she should be home any minute now. So I'm going to go spend some time with her. Thanks for spending some time with me. And it looks like next Tuesday we're going to do this again. I have a burgeoning list of things to talk about next Tuesday as well. So hopefully I'll see you all then. And if not, stay safe out there. What's the old saying? Keep your powder dry and your blade wet. Take it easy. Oh, shit. I don't know how to end the stream.